I'm Mirror, and this is Mirror&Bellz, and today I want to talk about why I like Megumi so much. Megumi Fushiguro from JJK, Jujutsu Kaisen. And what basically prompted me to make this video is the latest episode came out where we got to see Megumi bump a little bit in the first colony. And I really like the episode. I like Megumi has been my favorite character since the first season, and so I always like to see him fight. And even though in the first season he was basically always getting beat up, there's just something about him that I like, which I'm going to talk about in this video. And after the episode, Bells in a group chat was like, she hopes that Megumi gets exterminated after this episode. I don't know if she was joking or not, but that basically inspired me to make a video about why I like him. Now, this may be premature because we are about to watch him throw his domain expansion since the first season. And it seems like it's kind of his last resort. He's probably not gonna die, I don't think. I feel like it's too important to the plot to kill, but JJK is very trigger happy. They don't care. I feel like everyone has equal opportunity to die in this anime. It's not one of those animes where I'm like, oh, they're not gonna kill them. They're too important to the plot. I'm like, oh, they might actually kill that person. And while I talk about that, I'm gonna do I want to try to recreate this makeup look that I saw on Instagram. It's really pink and fairy-like. So we're gonna try to do that. So in the first season, we get to see Megumi fight a few times. And I feel like in shonen anime, you really get to know a character from their fights. There's this line from Naruto where he's like, oh, you really get to know someone when you trade blows with them. And I feel like that's how a lot of shonen work. There's a lot of dialogue and a lot of downtime. It's not every episode they're fighting, but I really feel like you see a lot of character development through their fights and see how they develop their technique and also how they develop as a person, because as we all know, in the first season, every time Megumi was in a tough spot, he would try to Minecraft himself. For literally every time. And then when he finally did it was literally against probably one of the weakest characters he could have done it against. Literally some character who apparently just had luck. That was his technique, is luck, because Nanami beat the brakes off that guy. So, I mean, to be fair, I think Kugisaki was having a hard time against him. They were just running from him. But I don't know. I guess Kugisaki's just kind of weak. I don't know about that. But Nanami beat the brakes off of him, and Nanami didn't even use a technique. He literally was probably just using cursed energy to fortify his physique, and was just hand to handing with him. It was a slaughter fest. So that was when Megumi finally decided, where we finally got to see what he was trying to do the whole time. And then when you see what it was, you're like, so why did he try to do that every single time? Because that was his trump card, he just always relied on it. But we first see him when in the first episode, when that curse kind of takes over the high. We see him in the first season when that curse takes over the high school, and he's pretty weak there. I don't remember what grade that curse was, but when Izudori ate only one finger, he just Sukuna with only one finger obliterated it instantly. So, and with one finger, Gojo was able, probably if he wanted to, would have been able to kill him. So he wasn't that strong. Well, actually, that is not a good comparison. Gojo is the strongest sorcerer, but I don't know. I think with 20 fingers, Gojo, it would be a bump. It's not it'd be an easy task for Gojo. So at that time, Megumi would have gotten like obliterated by one finger Sukuna. So I don't know what that means. But he was pretty weak in the beginning, is what I'm trying to say. Like in the first season, he was pretty weak. So and then the next time we get to see him fight a little bit was after their first mission with Itadori. Well, so during their first mission with Itadori, we see them fight the special grade, and I don't remember like what happens, but I think Itadori and Megumi get separated, because I remember like Itadori was fighting the special grade, and then like Sukuna came out because Itadori was gonna die, and Sukuna doesn't want to die. And then, you know, they went out and Megumi went to go fight Sukuna, and he was doing his best. I mean, and that was, how many fingers did he have then? Like 3, maybe? 2 or 3? And he definitely would have lost. But like, I go back and I like watch Megumi fights, because like during the first season, my thing was always like, oh yeah, I like to see like Megumi getting beat up. And it wasn't that like I like watching my favorite characters get beat up. It was just like I like to see my favorite characters, and in all of Megumi fights, he was just always getting beat up. Like right when Megumi was about to do his technique, then Sukuna like basically killed Itadori like temporarily, because Sukuna sees value in Megumi. Like he sees something in him that he likes, because he even saved him when he actually deployed the ritual in Shibuya. And when he actually deployed the ritual in Shibuya, Sukuna actually entered and killed Maharaga and saved Megumi. So there's something in Megumi that Sukuna likes. Same. Like there's something about him. I feel like he's like kind of unique, which is like really hard to find in like anime, especially in shonen, because I basically only watch shonen. Like I do watch other types of anime, but I basically only watch shonen, so like it's kind of like you're seeing the same thing over and over again. And I'm sure if I watched other genre of anime, I'd see like more unique characters. And I am exploring other types of anime, but I do just really like shonen. So it's like kind of hard to find like that originality. But I feel like Megumi's character development is really original, because like even though he like has a lot of self-doubt, basically that's his character, is he has a lot of self-doubt, and maybe I like him so much because I like relate to him. But Gojo was saying like, oh, the last person to beat the 6 eyes was someone with Megumi's technique, so he does have the potential to be as strong as Gojo, or like on the same par with Gojo, being able to bump with Gojo. But like Megumi doesn't even want to see his full potential. Like when he was fighting against Sukuna, he tried to do the ritual. It kind of looked like he was gonna do it when he was fighting Toji that one time, where it was like Toji v him and then Kugisaki v Mai. It kind of looked like he wanted to do it there. It kind of looked like he wanted to do the ritual there. And then he actually did it in Shibuya, where he actually showcased and it was right after he showcased that he's really smart. He's like basically a genius. He's really smart and he's really talented, when he was fighting against Toji. And Toji was clearly stronger than him. He had to put in all he could to hold his own in that fight, using all the Shikigami that he could. And then even though his last plan failed, Toji recognized like, this kid's got something to him. And then he was like, oh yeah, like what's your name? Like from that last move that he pulled, Toji, it like prompted Toji to ask his name, like, oh, who are you? And then Toji, like his father, who was, according to Naoya, a pathetic man. I mean, Naoya think he's the GOAT, but he wanted to see the pathetic look on his face. So like a renowned, sorcerer like Toji, he did that move and it prompted him to ask him what his name was. So it's just like, there's so much potential in Megumi that he just doesn't see. And I think that about him really intrigues me. And maybe it's just because like it's rare to see like I feel like in shonen everyone wants to be the Hokage, everybody wants to be the Wizard King, they want to find the One Piece, whatever. And it's just like I don't even really know what Megumi's goal is, like just to help people, and he don't even want to do that. Like if you're a criminal, he might watch a curse devour you. He might say you're not worth saving. So I don't know. I don't really know what he wants to do, and I think like that kind of like, and he doesn't seem to have like it didn't seem like he was particularly motivated to dismantle the Zenin clan like Maki was, because when he became the head, he was like, ugh, you do it. Like he wasn't even like invested in like how the Zenin clan was and like the structure. And maybe that's because like he got lucky, he got a really cool technique, and then Gojo ended up like basically adopting him, so like it wasn't his problem. But I think that just kind of like mysteriousness and all the self-doubt he has really intrigues me about him and makes him like a unique character within like shonen to me. And then in the last episode of the first season is where we get to see him throw, like we think that he's about to do the ritual, or like, oh, he's gonna do it, like he's gonna like, and they've teased it a lot. So we don't know what he's gonna do, but then he throws out his domain expansion. I remember like seeing that for the first time, and like we've seen a few domain expansions. Like we saw the Special Grades, we saw Gojo's, we saw Jogo's, we saw Mahito's, and then we think we saw Sukuna's. Yeah, I think we've seen Sukuna's domain. So it was just like we've seen just these really strong domains. We're like, oh, like what is like Fushiguro gonna throw? And then like he's the only one of them that had ever at that point threw a domain other than Gojo. I think he's like the only main character that's thrown a domain other than Gojo, because they are really hard to throw because of the insta kill, because everyone wants to insta kill. And we learned in this last season that it actually used to be much more common. And I do wonder if like Megumi would be one of those kind of sorcerers where like he'll create, like it wouldn't be a direct insta kill domain, but he is trying to throw, he did throw it in this last episode again, but from the previews it doesn't look like he instantly killed the person. But I don't even know if his domain actually entrapped him, because in the first time he threw it, it wasn't even a closed domain. So we got to see him like throw his first domain, and we get to see him like for the first time. I think that was the first time he won a fight, and then he immediately sleeps with Sukuna's finger. When Junpei's mom was just holding the finger, her body got torn in half. So why did he sleep with the finger is beyond me, but I digress. But yeah, so that was basically the first time we got to see him win. I just remember like when because I watched JJK as it aired, so I watched it in Japanese, and I vividly remember like being in my college dorm room and I was watching it on my like little laptop screen, and he did the, I think it's like this, right? And he talking about some Roiki Tenkai. I knew. I think like when he did that, he was solidified as my favorite character, because Kugisaki was coming up close behind because she was a girl, and it is really hard to find like notable female characters in shonen. Oh god, that could have been a disaster. It is like really hard to find like notable female characters in anime, but after that Roiki Tenkai, Megumi took the cake. He took the cake. Oh my gosh. I just remember like, and like by then, like I don't know when like he became my favorite character, but by then he was definitely already my favorite character. That just like solidified it. Like he just put the nail in the coffin with that one. Like it was just crazy. And then So that was like really the first time we saw him like succeed. And even though his domain expansion was incomplete, he was like just whatever, like I'm just gonna do it, I'm just gonna go for it. Literally what he said, he's like, what the heck, like what am I gonna lose? Like, what are you gonna lose? I guess I don't know, like I don't know how much cursed energy it takes to throw out Maharaga, but it's like, I guess like worst case scenario, it doesn't work and you do throw out Maharaga, but I don't know. I don't remember what grade that cursed was. Was it a first grade or something? I don't know. Because in that first mission, I think the curse that they ended up going against was a first grade, and they were extremely overwhelmed. And now and JJK in general is like a pretty interesting anime because like all of the characters are like really weak. Like Gojo was like the only character like that actually consistently wins his fights, but like and mind you, all the characters have been Kugisaki and Itadori were just starting at the beginning of the show, but a lot of the other characters, they had been sorcerers for a while, so I'm sure they went on missions and then won, and exercised the curses and then came back alive. But like because of like everything Kenjaku is doing is coming up to a head, like there's just a lot of strong curses coming out, and then probably with the reawakening of Sukuna, like it's just like all the other characters just got mollywopped in Shibuya. I mean, even Gojo got, sealed. So that was just an unfortunate time. That was just like the people who came out alive, I don't even know how they're still sorcerers. I feel like I'd be traumatized. Goodness. But I do feel like they put a lot of thought into all of the fights, but because like Megumi is my favorite character, I like really, and because I'm talking about Megumi, we're going to talk about Megumi's fights, and I feel like they just put so much thought. I feel like this anime is really good at just putting the characters' personality into their fighting style. Like it's not like, oh, they just have this technique because of plot and da 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 da. It's like their technique matches their personality, or not their technique, but the way that they fight matches their personality. Like Megumi tends to kind of like do these all or nothing type of tricks, like whether he's throwing out Maharaga, whether he's doing the domain expansion, and Toji, he wasn't doing any of those, but like his plan was either like I get him or he gets me. Like he just went for it. Like and that's because that's just like his style. He just doesn't have he has the brains to like think of these things and then like obviously he's like practicing or whatever, he's like training, because we're gonna see like his domain expansion has gotten better, but like he just always does. And then even now, like even in this latest fight, he like was throwing out all the Shikigami, threw out the elephant, throwing out everything, and then he's like, oh yeah, like my last resort is like I gotta use this gem to close my domain expansion because I don't know how to like make a smaller space within reality. Like and that is his personality. Like he just has so much self-doubt. It's like he doesn't ever, I don't even know how to say it. It's like, because I feel like other characters don't do this. I mean, like there are times where like when characters are fighting a foe that's stronger than them, and it's just like, okay, I just gotta throw it all in. But I just feel like Megumi does it more. Like when Itadori was fighting against the judge and he lost his cursed energy, he was just fighting him hand to hand, and he was like getting overwhelmed, but he was able to hold his own for a little bit just with his physical strength. And when he finally like was really getting overwhelmed, he was like, okay, like think, this is trial, like what do I gotta do to get out of this, what do I gotta do? And I just feel like Megumi wouldn't have done that. I feel like if Megumi was cornered like that, where he lost his technique, I feel like he'd just throw up his hands and probably like, then that was it. Because can he throw out Maharaga without his technique? I don't know. I mean, I guess he would just lose his technique, which is the Shikigami. And he relies on those heavily. when fighting. So if he lost his Shikigami, I don't know if he would have been able to keep up with the judge. And I don't know. And it's not even that like Megumi wouldn't have been able to figure that out. I just don't think he would have even tried. Like when he's put up against a corner, he's like, yeah, it is what it is. Because even like in this latest fight, he's like, yeah, I don't think I can beat you, so I'm gonna run. Like, very matter of fact about it. And then he's like, well, I guess he's not gonna let me run, so now I gotta do this. And like, it uses up a lot of cursed energy. Like, if this doesn't succeed, he's kind of cooked. Like, Megumi is just like a all or nothing kind of fighting style. And I feel like all of his fights, he like almost dies. And I honestly noticed this about Itadori too. Like, I don't think Itadori has really won any of his fights either. I mean, it seemed like he was going to beat Maito in Shibuya, and he really should have like went for the kill. Like, I mean, I'm sure he was going for the kill the entire time, but like all that yapping and letting him get saved like that, I feel like that was a huge mistake. That whole transfiguration thing is doing absolutely too much in the plot. It's doing too much. They're giving it way too much weight. Okay, so like that, like Itadori, I don't know why he let that, especially when he killed his friend, like Junpei or whatever. So basically, to wrap up my thoughts, I really like how Megumi's fighting style matches his personality. He has like a lot of self-doubt, but he's kind of just doing his part, doing whatever it is he can do. And I honestly kind of a little bit don't understand him, because it's just like, you know, I think he wants to help people. I think that's what he wants to do. He wants to help people where he can and the best he can, but like, you can't help people when you're dead. Like, I feel like he kind of reminds me of Krista Historia from Attack on Titan. And obviously it's for like a different reason maybe, but it's just like her thing was like, as long as she could like die honorably, like she was just always trying to kill herself. And it kind of is like kind of the same thing with Megumi. Like, I feel like he's like, well, as long as I died like for the cause, like as long as I died doing something, I don't mind like dying. But like, you're gonna help way more people alive than dead. You're gonna help way more people alive than dead. And I feel like the people who are like, oh yeah, like I wanna sacrifice myself for the greater cause, I don't know, like they like forget that you're going to save more people alive than dead. So I feel like, but I don't think with Megumi it comes from like a false sense of honor though. I think it stems from self-doubt. I think it stems from like self-doubt. And he's like, well, not like particularly, like even like when Toji asked what kind of woman he liked, you know, his answer was like, you know, I don't remember exactly what he said, but he basically was like, you know, a woman who's like strong, but like strong character, I think. And, you know, basically is like, I forgot exactly what his answer was, but like his answer was like not remarkable, you know, like he was just like, yeah, I just want like a good woman. And Toji, you know, was very disappointed and got to bumping. But yeah, like even in that answer, it's just like he doesn't want like anything extraordinary. And like that's not like a bad thing. He doesn't have to want anything extraordinary, but that seems to permeate throughout like his entire being and his entire life. Like, he doesn't want to be an exceptional sorcerer. He doesn't want to like live an exceptional life. He kind of wants to do what he can for as long as he can, and when his time comes, he's like, my time comes. Like, he's just very like complacent. So, and I think what like makes me like his character is like the humbleness of that thought process. I think that is something I really like, because I do in real life, I do like someone who's humble, someone who is like someone who,
well, we're waiting.
Someone who like understands that there's something bigger than them. And I don't know if like that's how Megumi feels. Like, oh, I'm like there's something bigger than me, so I don't need to like be alive. As long as I can do my part, that's good enough. I don't know if that's necessarily his thought process. But I think his character comes off as like kind of humble to me, and I do really like that. But by the grace of God, he still is alive by the grace of Sukuna. So he's gonna put in the work. Like he recovered, he got stronger, even with like Kugisaki's death. He's still doing the thing, and I'm sure that was like sad. We didn't really get to like explore either of their feelings about that, but you know, I'm sure that was really sad going through that. And now in the next episode, we're gonna see like how has his domain expansion improved, and how has he improved as a sorcerer. And his like, I don't know, I don't really, it doesn't really, I mean, the only way we can know he improved is like if he fights like a character of the same strength as like Toji or something, and see how he does against him. But he kind of seems to do the same thing he's always been doing, like throwing out Shikigami. Like he's very quick on his toes, very fast thinking, which I think as a sorcerer you just have to be, because like you're fighting, like curses can take any form. Like when they were fighting and I don't remember that chick's name, when they were fighting like the sorcerer, the other third year that like got expelled or whatever, and like their curse was like with the stars, and then he figured that out, and then they were talking about like you can have like cursed videos. There are like when Geto, when like he was alive and he was fighting Toji, and he had that one curse that like asked the question, and it's like curses can take like curse energy can take like any form. The principal had cursed freaking corpses. Like there's too many forms that they can take, and it's just like you just got to be ready for anything. I mean, and there are like tropes, but it just seems like you got to be ready for anything in this universe. Like there's just no downtime. So like to be like quick on your toes like he is, and to always be able to figure a way out even when it almost always requires him to die. I mean, I also think like that's pretty cool about him. But all in all, I just really like Megumi's character. I love like kind of how nonchalant he is. He's like probably one of the like primed to be one of the strongest sorcerers, and he seems to like not really care about that. He was given the head of his clan. He didn't even really care about that. He kind of just did it because Maki wanted him to, and then Maki went and obliterated the clan, so like that doesn't even really mean anything anymore. I like the creative way that like his personality shows in his fighting style, and I am excited to see like how he grows in confidence, like the kind of sorcerer that he's going to become. I mean, everything is happening like so quick, so it's not like he has like years to become stronger, like because he's probably gonna have to fight Sukuna again, and that's probably gonna happen sooner rather than later. Especially, I mean, then like, you know, everything going on with Kenjaku. So there's just a lot going on, so he just doesn't have, and that was something I was like wondering about in like during the Shibuya arc, is like everyone's so weak, and then like Kenjaku's like plan is just coming to fruition so quickly. Like, do people have time to like get strong enough to like win? And like probably not. Like that's why they're focusing on trying to get Gojo unsealed. So, but I'm excited to see where this goes. What he's been working. I'm excited to see where this goes. What he's been working on off screen, and I'm just really excited for the show in general. I love JJK. Been watching it since it came out in 2019. I think is when it came out. not gonna do what we did last time and give myself powder face. that was traumatizing. But yeah, so I am excited to see where Megumi goes. I'm excited for the next episode, and I'm probably going to talk about the next episode because it is like a Megumi fight. So I'm probably gonna come back next week and talk about what I thought about the fight. I don't want to like really do anime reviews, but I do like want to talk about characters, what I like about anime characters, and talk about their development. And I do think that this fight, I think every Megami fight is like a big character development. Like I said, I think like fights are part of character development in shonen, and we get to see, and it's not just about how they've progressed like in their prowess or in their physical capabilities. It is like their character. When they fight, it does develop. We do see development in their fights. So I am going to talk about like what I thought about the Megumi fight, and if I like it, like if I feel like he like developed in any way since Shibuya, and what I think about that. And so on that note, let's wrap this one up. Bye.